Hello, welcome back. You're here with Crystal from Crystal Clear Coaching. I am here on the 18th of January now. We've been haphazardly creating at least one new habit for the month. It started off being much more ambitious than that, but yeah, my daily habit is uploading this video every day. Creating new video to upload, should I say, because this particular video is just today. Yeah, I'm just doing girly, hanging out on the bed times here. I had just realized I've just got this beautiful new wardrobe and I wanted to play with it, so I played with it a little bit tonight and, put on my awesome top that I hadn't actually worn because we don't have it in store anymore. So anyway, I haven't been able to wear it, and also it's been too hot to wear, but yay for aircon. Big fan of that. Anyway, and I've got some new jewelry pieces too. I do actually love my job. It's a good time, not a long time, but yeah, as jobs go, it's a pretty good one. So yay for that. But yeah, it's important for me this year to keep showing up and creating stuff, creating beautiful resources that can really help people heal, find their healing, find out what their blocks are that are stopping them from getting where they want in their life. And the way to do that is the way I'm getting out of my own way and learning to show up consistently is by challenging myself to show up here daily, and hopefully bringing some wisdom that will help anyone that chooses to watch along, and hopefully, I'm hopefully inspiring you to find your own new habit. Can be singular or plural, habit or habits, just depending on what your capacity is. Hopefully you managed to figure that out quicker than I did, because it's taken me halfway through the month until I realized, okay, I can't actually. I was gonna do a new habit every day. It's and continue to do all the other habits as they accumulate. So very overambitious, but honestly, that's too much. And just like dipping my toe in when I can, when I have the capacity, for the other wonderful habits I'd like to cultivate for myself, is wonderful. And like what I've just done, and this is that one habit that beyond the daily YouTube upload, that I really want to focus on, is listening to my daily tune-in that I've made. Like I've tuned in, journaled on, then recorded a voice note to myself in order to listen and check in with what I'm heading for, what I want for my dream life. And that this is a future self tune-in that I did. Some of my earlier videos in January talk about how I tuned in for what me in a year's time, what I'd like to have in my life. And so I really painted that picture for myself with all the senses, like sight, smell, what you hear, if you taste anything, like what do you know or notice, how do you feel? That's the most important. How do you feel in this future reality? Because if you can tap into the feeling now, then you get to already, like, your body, your energy field will just already feel like it's in that, and that'll help you get there faster. So yeah, I had meant to do it since I recorded it. I think I've maybe done it once or twice since then, listening to it, and it's literally a voice note on my phone, easily accessible. And I just hadn't, and then like, this is after work, and I've just listened to it again, and I'm like, man, I nailed this. This is exactly what I want. So I over-fleshed mine out. Like, mine is like 8.5 minutes long, but I double sped it because I'm I'm a bit of a whore for double speeding things when it comes to audio clips, sometimes video clips. Depends if there's a narrative storytelling thing going on or whether it's more of a podcast vibe. Podcast vibe, I'm like, yeah, speed her up. Go on. Audiobook, yeah, speed her up actually. That is actually storytelling, but I mean, like, I wouldn't speed up a movie per se because there's pacing and stuff involved. I wouldn't speed up music because, that's, well, usually, anyway. Maybe I'm creating a remix, maybe I'll become a DJ and then I'll start speed. Anyway, I digress. ADHD brain. It's always a ride. So yeah, I listened to it, and I can listen to it basically in less than 4.5 minutes now. So, and I could listen to it. Actually, a good habit to pair it with be listening to it as I brush my teeth every morning. Yeah, that would be really great. The first thing I usually do when I get up is I go to the toilet. Yeah, I'm sure you guys wanted to know that. I'm sure a lot of you guys do it too. But it's like, if I could chuck my headphones on while I do that, press play, listen to it while I'm like half asleep, that will just remind me and get me into life instead of my dream state, which I tend to want to stay in, which is why I roll over and set the alarm again and again and again and then end up running late for things. So if I, get up and listen to that, it's reminding me of the actual physical life that I have instead of whatever crazy dreams I was having, because she gets crazy up in here sometimes, let's be honest. So yeah, I feel like every day I come on here and I chat and I refine a little bit more about what I am wanting to cultivate more of in my life. I don't know why that just flickered, so hopefully everything's okay. But yeah, I do feel more ambitious today. Well, after listening to it, but I also feel, I'm letting go of my shame of not holding up strict integrity with all the habits I intended to create, because it was actually too much. And there's a point where you can restore your integrity and say, look, it's actually too much, and it's no longer an integrity for me to expect myself to do that. And this comes to a topic that I've been wanting to talk about, and that is integrity. So, like, I just wonder, what is your relationship with integrity? Do you know the meaning of that word? I hope you do. If you don't, like, that's okay. I don't make that mean anything. But I encourage you to look it up. I will share my definition of it. My first personal development course that I did really instilled the importance of integrity to me. We had somebody, after being like hammered into us the first few sessions, I think it was the second day we came back, and on the spot the seminar leader decided to put someone, like, just say, hey, define integrity, and on the spot basically asked this guy to define integrity and made him stand up in front of the whole, like, 120 people that were there, and he couldn't remember what it meant, even though we'd gone over it multiple times. And me being the goody two-shoes that I am, I wanted to put my hand up and be like, I'll tell you. But the seminar leader made a point of it, and it stuck in all our minds because of it, of making sure that this guy came up with it. And it took, I think, like, at least 20 minutes, if not over half an hour. It was, like, painful. But it made a point. So, the importance of integrity. Integrity is doing what you said you would do when you said you would do it. And there's implied what you said you would do. Like, so it's not necessarily what you've spoken. It can be what's implied that you will do within reason, because sometimes it's an assumption of somebody else or a completely separate party. And maybe if you realise there's a miscommunication in what integrity in that situation is, then you can have that discussion and restore integrity between both parties to figure out what integrity is in this particular situation. But yeah, this guy could not come up with what integrity meant, and he could not come up with the words of it's doing what you said you would do when you said you would do it, and like honouring your word, essentially. Yeah, and it really stuck with me, even though like I definitely had listened and understood what integrity is up till that point. I still recognise to this day integrity is very important to me, and my integrity with myself is the most abysmal integrity that I have. If I tell someone I will show up somewhere XYZ, I will show up that place or communicate that I can't if I need to restore my integrity. I'm pretty good at doing that. I have never been a great person at being on time, though. And that comes with integrity, doing what you said you will do when you said you will do it. So I constantly feel out of integrity for when I am running late. I have realised in recent years that I'm likely ADHD and attentive ADHD, which comes with a term called time blindness, where I just think within 60 minutes I've got like all the time in the world until it's like suddenly that 60-minute countdown or whatever, 5-minute countdown, and then I suddenly am panicking and running around and trying to get there on time. And sometimes I do get there on time and sometimes I do not. And I have really worked on, coming in to work earlier, coming in, like showing up places earlier, but I really do, to this day, struggle with it. I struggle to be on time. But I have been trying to cultivate better ways of being around that and communicating well, and communicating from a place of power as well. Not in a power over kind of way, just in a place of not disempowering myself and the energy around me and anyone around me by coming in, running, if I am late, running in and being like, oh, sorry, and then like feeling bad about it for half the day and then just dragging everyone else down with my energy. I used to do that so much, honestly. And then in recent years, I just decided I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to say, like, I'll communicate it, ideally, before the time. Like, if I'm on my way and I realise I'm going to be late, I communicate it. And instead of saying, I'm sorry, I say, thank you for your patience. And you just see the change. There's the shift from being like, oh, I'm so sorry, to thank you for your patience. Like, I do appreciate your time as much as my actions are not showing that right now. I am still communicating that I appreciate that you have waited for me. And obviously the best course of action is to just leave earlier and be on time. And I know that theoretically I just really struggle with it. And I don't mean to be a dick, and I do appreciate other people's time. But I always feel out of integrity because it's not exactly doing what I said I'd do when I said I'd do it. So yeah, I will own that. And my other place where my integrity lacks is, doing the things that I want to do for my own good, showing up for myself in these good habits, for instance. That like this has been, like I've been trying to cultivate better habits for years, let's be honest. And they, there's some that have stuck and there's some that I am clearly still struggling with. So yeah. But integrity is also like, it's got to show up in all ways, in all places. For instance, like I get frustrated with like dating apps because, if I say I'm going to message someone the next day, I will do so because that's what we've said you'd do. But I also know majority of energy on those apps is, you know, they say that in the moment and then it doesn't happen. And honestly, to a degree, I don't blame them. You shouldn't be prioritizing somebody that you're barely chatting to on an app on the internet over actual people in your life or meeting actual people in real life. And it also is frustrating. And if it's someone you have been talking to for a little while and they just disappear, that is really disappointing. So, yeah. And that's very much, you know, that's as much as they may not have said they'll do XYZ or not do XYZ. If someone that was talking to you, talking animatedly for a time, suddenly just goes off the radar, it's probably more to do with things that are going on for them, and nothing personal against you, but it is frustrating because you don't know what's going on, and it's there's an assumed level of, if they had good integrity with you, they would at least say, hey, I've had something come up, I can't chat to you anymore, or like just say something respectful, like there's, you know, like, and just to know that they at least honoured the chats that you had, you know, like I do really appreciate when somebody actually has the integrity to be like, hey, it was lovely meeting you, or like, hey, it was lovely chatting with you, but I just don't feel like this is aligned, so I'm going to move on, but wish you the best. And like, I actually really appreciate that, but it's so rare to find in this day and age. And like, I'm not just talking about like dating and romantic things, but like it could be professional relationships, it could be just, you know, anyway, if like even like, I mean, to a degree, maybe a friendship, but like, I mean, friendships are a bit hard because, you know, you don't have a commitment to each other. And honestly, to a degree, sometimes if a friendship is fading, it's almost better to just let it fade unless there's like a specific thing that you know hasn't been discussed that would actually be beneficial to have a chat. Sometimes it's just better that it naturally fades. And, you know, if it's supposed to come back around and you've both grown and evolved and now align again, then great. But like, yeah, I'm talking about integrity. I don't know how I've got to this, but yeah, having, yeah, just like doing what you said you would do when you said you'd do it with the people that like you physically spoke to in any area of your life, but also restoring your integrity when you realize you've taken on too much and you cannot do something, you cannot uphold your integrity in that instance. Well, it's upholding your integrity by restoring your integrity and saying like, look, I actually can't do this right now, I actually can't meet you for that coffee, whatever it is. So yeah, integrity is so important because it's how people get to know, like, and trust you, like trust that you will show up and do what you said you're going to do, to, you know, but also like at the same time, I'm coming from an imperfect place of integrity because like I will show up for others and try and create my integrity to be as good as possible for others outside maybe the time thing. But I know that I fall short and there's times where I would drop the ball. But yeah, with myself, my own integrity for myself in my own life, which should be the most important part of integrity for me to focus on, is where I fall short the most. And part of me is like, oh, it's just me that it affects, like, oh, and that's part of like a core wound of mine is just feeling worthless. And it's a common core wound, just not feeling worthy of what you want in life. And so I've in my past put other people on pedestals and not felt like I could live up to who they, like, what they're like, how much better they are than me. And I've just kind of tried to sink into the background and be a bit more of a wallflower. which like isn't actually my natural way that I want to be, because I'm actually kind of a show pony, even though, and it's interesting because my career in film really fed into it. Like I was there to look after, as an assistant, the costume of the actors, or the background even on set, just like, and I'm there to make sure that their clothing is looking good and how we want it to look. And like I've got to sometimes put my needs second in order to make sure that's happening, for our 50 to 60 to 70 hour work weeks, as a part of a team, yes, but yeah, it's like, it's not glamorous at all. The film and TV industry has this idea of being glamorous, but it's actually, if you're assisting in any way, shape, or form, it is full on. It's hard work. It's wonderful, fun work, collaborative work. But yeah, I'm not really caring about, like, I'm wearing practical clothes to try and that can get dirty, that can get fake blood on them, that can just like get messy, that has pockets so I can keep all the things that I need to fix something, and under a crunch, under a time crunch. And yeah, I've got to fade into the background and stay out of the camera, and not be in people's way when there's hundreds, sometimes even thousands of crew walking around, taking up space. So I'm so used to fading into the background. I trained myself to do it in the film industry, and now it's been interesting this past year actually stepping out more like with weirdly amateur karaoke competition that I just randomly entered one night with my dad. Well, actually, he didn't enter it. He just came to support me, and he kept telling me I had to do it. So I went in and did that and had the most fun. Won that round that night, and just cracked me out. It was just hilarious. So good. And anyway, I was like, oh yeah, I am actually pretty good on stage. And there wasn't cameras there, but kind of in front of the camera too. Whereas I've always been hiding from the camera, like, in my career. So it's just funny. It's interesting. How did I get to this topic? Anyway, so I've trained myself to put myself last. So I've been trying to unlearn that the past few years, especially with my coaching. And to a degree, since I started personal development work, I've been working on it a bit more. But yeah, it's funny. Even like, I notice just the internet, like social media, will take me off my path of having integrity with myself. And that's good to notice. And these technology companies has been designed to mine our attention as much as possible. And so noticing that, I noticed that, like, I need to be the one that stakes a claim and says, no, we're not going on that until we've done XYZ, or maybe we just don't go on it some days, like, it's, the world will still be there, in fact, we'll probably be more in the world by, like, putting it down, and then we actually step outside our front door, on an off day, like, on a day off, should I say, and maybe interact with actual people, God forbid. That's like a little kind of micro in moments, but also macro, like in big moments. I do want to train myself to honour my integrity with myself more often. But I also wanted to share on here the importance of integrity. With what you want for yourself, like, I hope you have integrity with yourself first and foremost over the others in your life. But I know, if you're like me, you may have been conditioned to do what you said you were going to do with other people. Or maybe you've not even learnt the meaning of integrity yet, and this is all news to you, and you're thinking, oh my god, I do not say what I said I was going to do when I said I was going to do it, and I do not do it, sorry, and oh wow, this is why people call me flaky, this is why people get frustrated with me constantly. Okay, well, now's a great moment, an invitation to be curious about that. Don't be hard on yourself with this, but just be curious. Okay, what would it be like if I was to cultivate acting with more integrity in my life? What could that look like? And then think, like, and you might be being like, why do I need to do this? It's like, well, do you want people to know, like, and trust you in order to move towards the things that you want, so that you can, take a stand for the things that are most important to you, that maybe you haven't even voiced that you actually want in your life, but because maybe you're just going around with this kind of leaky energy where you tell someone you'll meet them at a certain time, and then you forget, and then you don't get back to them, and then you put it out, and you push it out, and then you keep changing the time on them, and then you're constantly late, and then they just don't know that they can trust you to show up anymore, and they get frustrated. They might tell you about this, or they might just not talk to you anymore. They might just decide not to use your services if you have services. Yeah. So especially if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, integrity is super important. And I feel like if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, you know what integrity is, even if you don't feel like you're necessarily always 100% at it. I mean, who is? Who is? But yeah, it is so important. I mean, if your business is selling things online and you don't have the integrity of actually sending them through in a timely manner, how do you think your business is going to be going, Yeah, so integrity is very important. Again, not coming to you from a soapbox, because I have a long way to go when it comes to my self-integrity. But I'm very thankful for understanding integrity and holding myself to a higher standard. When I tell someone I will show up, I will show up. Or, like, if I absolutely have to, I will communicate that I'm no longer able to uphold that promise. And that is part of restoring my integrity. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope this has helped. Hope you learned something. I hope you're having a good day. And I will see you tomorrow, the next time. Thanks for listening. Let's get integrous. Okay, bye.